Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here, and we got a list of 7 properties, so it shouldn't take us too long. And it's funny, yesterday was quite the day, and definitely back in the swing of things. So we're going to start off with 81 Millside, number 406. There's 2 buildings on Millside that are condos. This one's the little bit older one. It's not quite as fancy as the 100 Millside. It's got electric baseboard heat. And I appreciate that they showed some of the downtown. I wonder if showing perhaps the farmer's market would be better. Some of the grounds outside, obviously the iconic mill pond with the gazebo there. And so here's the unit itself. It's very hard to find 3-bedroom condos, especially for 2 1/4. Even in Mississauga, very difficult to do. The fees are $550. That's not really that far off for a building, I would say, in a size of unit that's between 1,000 and 1,200 square feet. In a more mature building. So I don't know why they had Milton greenhouses. Nothing against that business, actually, but it's funny that they chose that because not many people are really looking for the greenhouse stuff. You might look at it and say, well, cupcakes right next door might be a greater draw, or the Ivy or something like that. There's the main lobby. So it's not a fancy building. There's a lot of renos going on right now in there. So that's one of the things that going to visit, I don't know what kind of state it's in, and you could even be dealing with construction and so on as probably in the first 6 months of living there. So Collis Court is 409. It's a Fallon model, which is around 1,500 square feet. Come in the front door just around here. You've got a kind of a dining room. It could be living dining, but it's not that big. And then you've got your family room, plus you've got your kitchen, 3 bedrooms upstairs, and then you've got a finished basement, and then plus a 4th bedroom down there. And the final thing is they actually have a walkway and a pond right behind. Really nice access to the James Snow. This, I believe, is a piece of plastic or Lexan, and I believe that you can see right through it and have a look at the pond. So the backyard is set up pretty well. Back in this phase, which is one of the first phases that Mattamy built, they actually had 30-foot lots. The semis now are coming on anywhere between 22 and probably 26 or 27-foot lots. So it doesn't sound like much, but you can definitely feel it when you're back there. So this one has a lot of stuff going for it. I think it compares well to what else is sold. You have to be careful with the age of the roof. You can see a little bit of it looks like wear and tear there. So if it's the original roof, it probably doesn't have too much life left on it, because these homes have now crossed the 10, 11, sometimes even the 12-year mark. And roofs, typically, most of the mechanical stuff lasts between 15 and 20 years. It seems like most of the roofs in this subdivision haven't lasted quite as long. Higginbotham is an Oakwood. It's 1,873 square feet, $439 for this one. They have put a fair bit of upgrades here. This can work really well as an office, but it's very detached from the rest of the house. So if you don't have a good use for this room, it can be wasted space. So the actual living space, there's one big room here, and then you have a kitchen with an eat-in. Very modern finishes. They've done a good job with selection of materials here. They've got the built-ins. They've got the range over here. They've got a little computer desk. So I really think these guys are priced well. I mean, I know what else is sold at $439, smaller than this one, townhouses, and I think that this one is actually a little bit better than some of those. Now it faces Bronte, so you might get some of the traffic there. You might get a bit of the road noise, but the street itself doesn't have a whole lot of car traffic on it. You just hear the noise. Campbell Avenue is $449. It's in Campbellville, a little further west. It's a nice sized lot at about 67 by 132. It looks like they've done substantial upgrades in here. It says spray foam insulation, so I'm not sure where that is. The basement's probably like a crawl space or something like that. The structure of this home looks like it was built before World War II, which means you've got to make sure that the wiring's okay, the plumbing. So just make sure you get a good home inspector. You get a nice sized property. It is possible that there could be some kind of commercial possibility here. You'd want to look into zoning, but I know that some of the places on Campbell do have business use. So that could be a little bit of a hidden thing here. 449 is you're really paying for some of the upgrades and the things that they've done inside the house, because a lot of the ones right on that stretch of Campbell that look similar have sold with the first digit being a 3. So Shanks Heights is 459, semi-detached, about 2,300 square feet of space. Blurry photos. I don't know if this really represents the home that well. A lot of the stuff on the countertops, on top of the fridge. I recommend this stuff, and I say it all the time. People probably think I'm nuts, but it matters. There's a second floor family room, and then there's a finished basement. So there is a fair bit of living space here. The main floor doesn't have a whole lot of space. It looks like kitchen, breakfast, plus a combined living dining, so just one room. From what else we've seen sell, it's right within range. If I had $459 to spend, I don't know if I'd be going to this one here. I think I'd rather even make a jump up to maybe $479 and pick up a half decent detached home. Now Anderson is at $474.9, and so the two things that I noticed with this one, the first one, it's electric baseboard heat, so that's something you want to be aware of, that it could cost you a lot more if you're not careful with how everything works. The AC is on a wall unit, so it's probably mounted somewhere. And then it also backs onto Thompson, so it has a few hits against it. It is a nice sized property at 55 by 121, a raised bungalow. So there was one recently on Randall that I believe sold in the 5, so I'm sure that's helping these guys. Beyond that, we don't have a lot to go by. We don't have the photos or anything like that. And the last one is Marshall. So this one's a Vanderwood. It's about 3053 square feet, stone and stucco. I have issues with this little post here, because as soon as you park your car in the driveway, that post is pretty much right in line with your front door, your car. And I know a lot of times homes that have that post there, I know that people get turned off on their showings right away from seeing that. However, it is a nice floor plan inside. They've done a lot of work in the backyard, and nice photos. It really breathes life into this home. You can see that they have a good time in the backyard. The kitchen looks like it has quite a few upgrades in it, and you've got the moldings, the pot lights, the built-in microwave here. You've got the upgraded hood fan, the backsplash, and so on. The whole house, the wainscoting, it looks like it's really been taken care of well. When we've seen this model cross 7, it usually is because of a finished basement, but I think with some of the upgrades and some of the things they've done, they should be able to justify something around where they're asking. I definitely think that the value's there, and things like landscaping you don't always get a high return on, but when you appeal emotionally to a buyer and you can really say, hey, look at all the fun you're going to have in the backyard, look how much you're going to enjoy the kitchen, the return on investment becomes much greater. So that's the list for today. Bit of a short list, but have a great day. And if you have any questions at all, give us a call, and we'd be glad to meet you at Starbucks, or even take on a tour of Milton Homes. We do them 7 days a week, and you just sign up over there. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.